What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at the attackers of Team of the Season and the best of the best. So we're going to be going through all of these players to find out who you should have in your team and who is not so bad. So we start off, we'll get rid of some of the older ones. Obviously, in Team of the Year categories, Mbappe, Messi, they are always going to be S-class 100% of the time. Even Benzema, I still think you could never argue he's a quality player, and obviously this list will get a little bit bigger, so we will kind of start outwards so we don't have to keep moving it. If then we go on to R9, they're just the best of the best strikers. They're the reason why most of them sit over a fair few million. I know a couple of them now are starting to kind of retract a little bit. Obviously Benzema's not the most expensive striker, but what he offers in terms of his actual ability in front of goal is absolutely stunning. Then we go on to a couple of the new ones. We've got a lot of Team of the Seasons in here that are most definitely outstanding. The number one choice for that is going to be Rashford. One of my favourite Team of the Seasons so far. And I think naturally he's always going to have that presence of being incredible from this version. Again, I'm trying to think who else it was. It's normally, I believe, Salah, who at the minute I'm pretty sure is somewhere. Where's the S's? Down here. When it comes to their normal version, especially Rashford, his gold is most definitely terrible. The gold card lasts barely a week in FIFA. Salah obviously has a better gold card, but it's the Team of the Seasons for both of these that personally everybody's waiting for. The World Cup Stories was okay, but definitely not the best left wing in the game. Salah Centurions was really nice, but again, not necessarily even close to the best right wing. Now we've got these two versions. If you could get any of them, they are absolutely outstanding. We then also have El Waran, arguably less relevant than what he was from his World Cup. That purely is the fact that we have got a lot of wingers, a lot of strikers, a lot of talent. It's not necessarily a new thing now. The only thing that I do think El Waran really kind of has over a lot of people is the fact he does have them Saudi links. Now we have a Moments CR7, which obviously, again, 96 is outstanding as well. We've got some actual purpose for a links for El Waran, not just necessarily the incredible pace that he does possess. If we are thinking around also Saudi, we also have Romarinho. Again, not necessarily the S in this version, but most definitely still absolutely outstanding in front of goal. His dribbling is absolutely on point. All of them, I think Talisca, Romarinho and CR7 are all 5-star, 4 stars as well. Very high on the dribbling and very much attacking focus, which always makes a great trio. Talisca and Romarinho from last year was outstanding, so we knew that we was going to be expecting some absolute heavy hitters from them this year. We then also have Bale, who definitely is slowly falling out of form now. Again, it is an end of an era, so whether we do see a footies Bale, I don't know. I doubt it very much. Normally they kind of have to be playing, or at least get the end of the era at the end of the game. It would be nice to have maybe one more 98, 99 Bale, but whether I could see that, I'd personally start now putting him into the A category. He is more of a super sub, if anything, anyway, and I do think the stats are still helping him keep the relevancy, but most definitely, with the new cards that we've got, I just don't see the point in him anymore, and obviously being an SBC, you technically can't get him again. I'd like to tell you about skycoach.gg. They offer many features within the FIFA franchise, from FIFA coins to FIFA Weekend League boosts, from trusted sellers, pro players, and are the best prices on the market currently. They have fast delivery, high quality services, lots of games, and also a cashback program. The more coins you buy, the more eligible you are for cashback options. So if you want to buy FIFA coins at the best price, click the link in the description of this video. It will be active promo code for 10% discount from my subscribers. All you have to use is the code JT11 at the checkout to receive this bonus. On to the video. Di Natale, still as great as ever. Love this 90 rated, and I think the big thing from the Team of the Season, it's very hard to justify who's in S and who's in A plus from the top of the top, because realistically there's a lot in this A plus, in this S. We've got to have Eusebio there. We've got to have, did I even have Cruyff in here? Cruyff should be somewhere, but apparently he's not for some reason. He must have been put into the midfielders, which, you know, Cruyff is always going to be S. I think Del P is, I think Dalglish is, both of them with their upgrades being a 5-5. Jarzinho most definitely is from the icons. Best, to be fair, Best is as well. I feel like Jarzinho, Garincha, and also Best are incredible from their new versions. And then I think in terms of the older cards, I want to say that's about it. Oh, Ginola, obviously. And then if we go further down, Liao's not quite. Owen's not quite. Obviously, we've got some new cards that will go into there as well. But I think that's about it from the older cards. That and Vinny. Vinny's bound to get a new card as well in La Liga this Friday. So that will obviously be updated for him. But he is outstanding anyway. And then also Neymar. I've just realised. I saw a Vinny and I thought a Neymar. But already we've got a whole row of S category. And literally all of them you can't argue with. We've got the Team of the Years. Not going to be beaten very often. Icon-wise, you could maybe argue Dalglish and Del P if you are putting them in a category between A+ and S and having like a really strict rule with them. But I think 5-star, 5-star on them both. The biggest upgrade we've seen from them and what they can do in front of goal is almost as good as a Benzema, as an El Waran. They are that good. We're personally playing with Dalglish right now, and Del P, even his base version, was still fantastic, let alone adding an extra triple upgrade, as well as the 5-star, 5-star. So there is a lot of S category. Don't get me wrong, they are very high priced between every single one of them, but that's what I mean. We are now getting to the point where we're getting a lot of talent going forward, so there's not just one option anymore. I'm very rarely seeing in Champs the exact same team. Maybe the exact same defense, but definitely now a wide spread of players going forward. Yes, I am seeing a lot of prime loan R9, which is annoying, but there is a nice dynamic between teams. Haaland, obviously not being a Team of the Year in this version, he did get a little bit of an upgrade from obviously the Team of the Year to the Team of the Season and is still absolutely exquisite. We then move further on. I'm trying to see if there's any more S category players. I do like Sanchez. Sanchez is absolutely outstanding, but I don't feel like he's at that level yet. I don't think I'd rather have a Sanchez over a Rashford or a Salah. Maybe to some extent over Awaran, but again, it's totally different kind of play styles for me. Awaran does naturally get wing play so right every time, and the cutting is beautiful. If then we're looking, I will go from the start then. Ben Yedder. To be fair, we are waiting for Ben Yedder. I feel like he more than likely, if he doesn't get a Team of the Season, it will definitely be a moment. How they've given CR7 one is exactly how they're going to justify anybody that technically shouldn't be in Team of the Season but can have a moment. With Son, with Mane, they're very clever with putting players in that either have just missed out on a Team of the Season but they still want them in packs. Ben Yedder, still absolutely fantastic. I'd probably now look at more of an A for the 89, but we know that we are going to get an upgrade at some point. We just know that if they don't make Team of the Season for him, he more than likely will be a flashback to Team of the Season or a moment somewhere else. Bergkamp, very good icon. Really do rate his kind of dribbling, but I don't feel like he's quite on the level of an A+ anymore. Coman, great down the wing. Got to really compare him because we're mainly looking at Martinelli. We're looking at Saka, Payet obviously being another one. I do think he's a nice upgrade. I've never really got on with him too much. So personally for me, I'm going to have to go with the A just purely for the fact that I've never found him to be a card that I'm definitely going to want. Like, I'm going to get him out and that is it. We then have Diaby, easy A+ category. Very much a one-trick pony, I'm not going to lie, but most definitely an absolute beast going down a wing. If you've used the 91, the 94 is pretty much just as good, but the only thing is, the 91 card has still got a chance to get up there and would end up with an extra, I think it's an extra overall, 5-star weak foot and 3 extra new traits. To me, if they do win it, even now, it's a very close debate because there is more traits on the 91 and he's already got 99 pace. So it's a big one to see where you kind of stand with what version you prefer. If they win it, I think the 92, 93 will definitely take the cake for me. We then have Felix as an 89. Really hope that we do get a footies or a shapeshifter for him. This version obviously is a 5-5, but he could do with that extra little boost now with obviously Team of the Season happening. We really could have that extra little level for him because going forward, especially in the Prem, he would be a monster going forward. Alvarez, rate him so highly. Alvarez and Isaac, to be honest. Both absolutely outstanding strikers. During the time of when they both came out, they were 100% the best in the field. Alvarez was the best future star I've played with. Isaac, is one of the best fantasy heroes, fantasy foots. There is obviously a lot there, so it didn't quite manage to make the top every single category. But I think what I did like from him is we got a very good Ibra vibe from him. In terms of what he plays with, he's got great pace, he's a big old unit, he's got a good amount of physicality, as well as then some solid dribbling. He is a force going forward, and very much like a Haaland, a cheaper version of anything. Haaland naturally has his own kind of way of doing it, which is just freak of nature, but Isaac most definitely reminds me very much of Ibra going forward, and I think it's that uniqueness that I do like as a striker. Sometimes it's trying something a little bit different. Then we have Fulkrug. Again, we know that there's going to be a lot of players that are just meant for fodder. Unfortunately, Fulkrug does fall into that category. Don't know. I think, did I put Taurum in here? I think he's about the same, to be honest. They've got great stats. Don't get me wrong. They're all up there in the 90s, but it's all about in-game ability. Watkins, I'd probably actually go A for him, and it might be a bit of prem tax. It might just be naturally how I've played with him a little bit more than, say, Taurum, but Watkins has been absolutely brilliant in front of goal. Very easy and cheap player, and he gets into a lot of people's teams. He's on the fence between them both, personally. If we then look at Osimhen, again, more fodder than anything, I just wanted to mention that in Serie A, we hopefully could get an absolute banging amount of players, because there is a lot of talent going in there, and the Serie A normally is the middle, well, it's the second middle point technically. La Liga, Serie A, they are normally ones that are upgraded to keep everybody intact, but Serie A most definitely, because it's the penultimate week before Ligue 1. Obviously, it's Prem Ligue 1 is what everybody wants, but the Serie A is in that middle point where they need to get them over a week, but also they need to drain fodder so that when Ligue 1 comes, we're not just absolutely stocked clubs. So I'm hoping that is the case for Serie A, because they are going to be some big upgraded cards. Not going to pronounce his name next, but we know the Georgian kind of Napoli left wing has been outstanding. The future star is very, very nice and is in deserve of a big upgrade. Obviously winning the league, I'm expecting a high rated, at the minimum 96. Whether we get it, like I said, I'm hoping for upgrades. I'm hoping for a big upgrade for him, because he could be absolutely outstanding. We then also have Martial. Unfortunately, no upgrades for the road to the final anymore, but I do think him getting to 91 most definitely was probably the best place that they could stop him, to be honest. If he got to 90, 89, maybe could have been a kind of under the rating of what we wanted, but I do think even the road to final now is still in with a chance to make it, depending on obviously how your team of the season packs have gone. Mudryk, I do feel like he's slowly coming down now, very much like Coman. I like him as a player, and when he first came out, brilliant. But now we're getting Saka, Rashford, obviously Salah, I don't know if he can play left wing, but all of these top end left, mid left wings, he's just not going to have a shout at all. We then have Nkunku. I rate him very highly. Love the card. Very agile. Very good going forward. We've managed to get a review on him, and he is an absolute gem and a half. Whether you've already done the FUT birthday, the 95 is a cracking addition if you wanted to try and get him. Talking about SBCs, Openda did manage to get himself a cheeky, I think a second player of the month, I want to say, or third, I don't know which one, but this card is just a gem. I think one of the highest rated cards from a chemistry style to go up. I believe it goes from like an 88 to like a 95, 96 now. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Hopefully we get some sort of team of the season moments or team of the season for him, because he is going to be a very cheap player that you can go get. Everybody's going to be focused on Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, even Ben Yedder if he manages it. But Openda is definitely not one to sleep on. So remember that before Ligue 1 comes, because most definitely will do the business. We then have Smolarek and Voller. Again, with these World Cups, I do think they're slowly going down a little bit. You definitely could still use them, and arguably they could still do well, but I do think in terms of especially these two, I believe both of them are 3-star, 4-stars, it's just not enough anymore. We're talking 5-4s, 5-5s, high-end 90-plus stats on everything. Unfortunately, they are behind the curve, and we do need another upgrade for them. More than likely, will come in Shapeshifter Heroes, or if we do get something for Team of the Season Heroes at any point. We then have all the other these are fantasy ones. We've obviously got Harry Kewell, we've got Papine, Okocha, and I think, was that all of them? In terms of where I'd kind of put them, I'd be looking mainly A plus. Oh, I know. I'd go A for Papine. I wasn't a big fan. Okocha, I'm going with A plus now, and I think with Harry Kewell, I still think he's a class left wing. He was one of the better left wings, if not the best Prem left wing before team of the season. And I do think he offers a very good dynamic going forward. He's got the shooting as well as the dribbling to go down the wing, very much like Rashford, but he's just not quite got that 95-96 card, which I think in due time, if he does manage to get it, could we see a right wing or a Cam Harry Kewell as a shapeshifter? That potentially could do it for me. We'll then finish off some of the icons. How have I not put Puskás there? He definitely should be in with the rest of them. Obviously missed out a little bit. Raul slowly coming down now. Same with Owen, to be honest. I think in terms of these strikers, even Van Basten, they can do whatever they like to Van Basten. He just does not go up in any way. Rooney, I'd say an A+, and then Torres, I'd probably put close behind him, and same with Rivaldo as obviously the SBC. Rivaldo definitely was one that I was looking to do, but unfortunately with obviously all of the team of the seasons we've got, there's just no need half the time. Unless it's an R9, a Cruyff, a Eusebio, a Puskás, there's very few reasons to do an Icon SBC other than fodder anymore. So unless they do release any of them, which I believe there is daily Icon SBCs coming for La Liga, it'll be interesting to see what they actually can give us that is worth it. Then we have Ribery, still rating from Rule Breakers, 5-star, 5-star, great dribbling, great kind of pace, as well as the shooting being up there with a chemistry style. I do think he will need an upgrade by the end of team of the season, but I still think he could definitely do a bit of business if you are trying to keep a Ribery in your team. Diego Forlan, again, absolutely cracking. Had a great upgrade, even if it was just a 91 to a 92. The refresh on him was fantastic. He's always been great at finishing, and I think this version is definitely still up there with one of the better trophy titans you can get. Jota, to be fair with Jota, I've never really put too much notice on him, but the fact he got such a big upgrade, I think he started off at like an 87 or 88, going to 92, that most definitely is not bad at all. Looking a good card, keeping himself relevant, and I do like these upgradable cards, like how we got the what ifs. That is a nice dynamic. I love when they upgrade from not necessarily just their performance. The one to watches are so difficult to actually get up, whereas these, they require meaningless stuff. It's get a clean sheet twice, score a goal twice, get 4 games played when you're on the bench, when you're on the starting lineup. Just let the team win one match. It's decent, and hopefully they do continue that and add more statistics that they could go for it. Then we have Werner. Werner now I do feel like he's dropping. Before maybe Prem, I'd have said maybe he could have been in the team a little bit, but I do think he again is very much one-trick pony. Still very pacey, good shooting, but we have a lot of them. We have a lot. Nunez though, really rate this card. I still think as almost the B-Tech Haaland in terms of how he plays in FIFA. The physicality of him alongside pace and dribbling is outstanding. So hopefully a shapeshifter, another version of a 90 plus, will come after the team of the season for him. Then we have Richarlison as an SBC. Never really fancied it. To be honest, from the start, from the get-go when it was quite expensive, I just didn't see the point in it, especially with all the strikers we've got. He's just not going to be on the list. Same as Weghorst, to be honest. I feel like very much a one-trick pony again with him. Maybe adds a different dynamic depending on your playstyle, but I just don't see him being used heavily. Leao still coming in clutch, S tier 100%, and more than likely will get himself a team of the season, which at 91 already, whether we see obviously a 95, 96, it will be very interesting for him because I do see him potentially being one of the higher rateds as he obviously just got another player of the month. Which leads us to our team of the seasons. Easy vote for Morata, straight in the bottom of that list because he is useless. Absolutely useless. In terms of S players in this category, I do think Mane's still there. I would arguably say St. Max as well, but I'm going to leave him for the moment. I do really like Son. I feel like people could argue between the two, but in terms of my playstyle, really like him going forward. Jesus, you know what? I'm going to keep him there a second. Matomo is a great SBC. I loved Rodrigo. He was brilliant going forward. And to be honest, same with Saka. I really rated Saka highly on this. He is absolutely rapid down the wing. Got great dribbling on him. Good kind of ball control going forward. As well as then having a nice control on his skills. And a great finish as well. He was an absolute perfect gem of a card. I've really enjoyed Payet. Whether I put him S now, I feel like in terms of the left wings we've got here, I just can't put him above them. I would always want a Rashford. I'd always want a Saka, a Mane, a Son. Even if he is free technically, I would much rather choose them personally over Payet. And to be honest, on the main account we chose the pack, so he couldn't have been that important. It had to go to the second account. Harry Kane, if you've used him, you know exactly what this card can do. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. One card that is doing very similar is Colo. Tall, great physicality build, great pace, dribbling's good, but he has got an absolute rocket on him, which I think Colo and Kane together, they're not necessarily going to combine well together in the same team, but either or, beautiful finishers. Jesus obviously has got to go there. To be honest, same as Martinelli. I thought Martinelli has been absolutely fantastic, as well as Matomo. I must admit, I thought he was going to be this mediocre player in terms of an objective. They just toss one out and they're like, no, okay, this one's going to be nerfed down, not going to have something, it'll miss something, it won't have a good balance or won't have a good agility, which just throws the card right off, meaning that you go and do St. Max. But most definitely, maybe not a starter, depending on obviously how lucky you've been in Team of the Season, but most definitely a super sub nonetheless. St. Max, again, depending on your playstyle, a great card. Same as Royce. Honestly, I do enjoy Royce. Whether I'd go and pay it all out if it wasn't for Team of the Season, it would be interesting. I'd probably say no. And finally, João Pedro in that A category. A nice striker, but unfortunately won't hit their main categories for me. And that is going to be the list for you today. So let me know down below if you did enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll catch you all later for the Saudi Guaranteed Team of the Season. Peace.